So, hi there. Thank you so much for joining me today, Nicolas. I am Jose Cañarte. I'm studying economics in the Universidad San Francisco de Quito. And tell us a little bit about you, Nicolas.
Yep, my name is Nicholas Weber, and I'm a student in Canyon College. Currently, I'm thinking about majoring in international studies and psychology as double major. Um, for psychology, I've been taking psychology since high school, and I feel like it's a subject that I'm really interested in focusing on, like the social aspects of the society. Um, Currently I'm taking this cross-cultural psychology class, and well, I'm collaborating with you in a project with USFQ, and currently we're going to talk about the relationship of like environmental factors like green spaces that affects like our um personal well-being. So
Yeah, sure. Just to be clear, the topic of this podcast is discussing the effect of green areas on the improvement in attitudes. So now,
mhm.
to start, how do you perceive the connection between one's environment, like having access to green spaces, and their mental well-being and attitudes?
Personally, well, when I go on into like a environment in green space, I feel like I'm able to calm myself and I'm able to like connect with the nature, especially in a place like Canyon College. I feel every classmate I know, um after classes, some people would just like to go into woods, and some people would just go on like vast grassland just to read a book. Honestly, I feel like it really facilitates positivity amongst each other, and um in my opinion, that such positivity amongst each other could also like help us to like collaborate with each other. These green spaces um and such as like the forest and grasslands, we're able to like um connect ourselves with the classwork, with with the nature, at the same time with the positivity attitude. All these collaborations will go like positively into work.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because I know here in the USFQ, like is in Quito, urban area. So like having these green spaces inside the university are good, like for calming down, like you said, and to enhance
Mhm.
positivity among the classes.
Yeah, I'm actually curious because I used to study in an urban setting back in Shanghai, China, which is like a really big city. Um, in such big cities, I feel like usually I'm not able to like concentrate on a lot of work. I usually get distracted by a lot of things outside. Instead, now I choose to go with Canyon. I'm able to like work with my peers on projects just outside in the grassland. Um, we have our facility and a lot of different buildings right outside in a like in the middle of a very vast and open rural space. And honestly, hearing listening to the voices, to the nature voices of like animals and everything just makes me really able to calm myself. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. And said that, are there any specific psychological theories that you can find particularly relevant when exploring this relationship?
There isn't a particular theory that I am able to find. However, there are many research papers on the American Psychology Association that I'm able to find that relates to a person's well-being and positive attitude with the relationship of green spaces, such as a psychologist named Hadavi Sarah, where where this psychologist um research the direct and indirect effects of the physical aspects of the environment on mental well-being. So basically the study compared urban and rural places, and how does it affect children and old how does it affect children and old people's mental stability. So to answer your question on how does it affect people's attitudes, the results have shown that green spaces such as grassland and forest definitely has a stronger impact into allowing people focusing and concentrating on work more, with the result of having a more positive attitude, that since they're being able to concentrate on the work.
Yeah, I find almost the same thing because I didn't like find a research exactly that says positive correlation between green areas and overall, for example, academic performance. But
Mm,
I did find like studies that said that green areas are very good to stress down, to calm down. And I think that, for example, in a university setting is a very good thing because, many times after an exam or after a class, you are like very stressed, and green areas like staying in the nature can help you. So you
mm.
previously said that from your experience, it can calm you down. But how might exposure to nature influence like motivation or overall academic performance among you or your partners in Kenyon College?
So honestly, as a student, I I I should not be easily distracted by out things outside my studies. However, coming to Kenyon, um, through through seeing my friends studying in the grass, studying just like outside in a outdoors, sitting on a table out on the grassland, or even just seeing people having conversations with each other while reading their books. I feel like it really motivates me through my peers' positivity amongst each other, that makes me want to study with them or just go out and enjoy the day. Instead, just staying within my room and just basically doing nothing. How and also for like my academic performance, I would say here people here in Kenyon College usually have a pretty good GPA and high academic performance. Though I can't really say it's a strong correlation due to the green spaces. However, um, compared to other schools and other liberal arts colleges, um, a school like us in a rural setting definitely will change the students' behavior in studying and how a student wants to be studying with their peers. Yeah.
Yeah. So as you said, like green areas, for example, are very good. And you notice that here in Kenyon College, as being like a rural college, is like being around of nature is very good for you, no? So, like in your experience from being here in Kenyon College, that is more like nature, and being in other urban areas like Shanghai, like you mentioned before, have you observed like any notable changes, like the people who were previously not exposed to green areas but later had access to them? Like maybe you can compare the people in Shanghai, maybe get used to urban areas and the people in Kenyon College.
Yeah. I do have some other couple of friends that came from Shanghai that come to Kenyon College right now, and they are enjoying probably their best time in their lives. At first, they might not get used to it because there really isn't anything around us to do, but because of not having enough facilities and things to do around us, it facilitates an importance of how collaboration and spending time with your peers is extremely important. Um, as with like a really recent example I can make. So since me and my friends, we wanted to go to cities to have fun and go out and just to go to big cities to go to like these restaurants and everything. However, it's a super long drive, and we're not able to do that. What we did instead is that we go to the farms nearby, and we purchase all these foods, and we cook for ourselves. I feel like this is something that you do really different from a city, that you don't really just get your own food and cook them. And
Yeah, I got you.
honestly, like yeah, honestly, I feel like such kind of like exposure to these green spaces just really changes our behavior. And honestly, it makes us focus better in this small space, and just expand of all the possibilities of what we can do in such a small space with the limited resources and everything.
And would you say that, for example, being around nature or being like more isolated is better to enhance the relationship among your peers? Because as you said, for example, in urban areas, you're in a restaurant and you're hearing more noise or stuff like that. But like being around nature and cooking your food and being like more isolated is better to enhance your relationship between your friends.
Definitely, because since you get more distraction in the city setting, you get there's when there's more things to do, you tend to like focus less on what's nearby you, because friends is what's happening, and friends is what you're having all the time when you're in a city setting. But so therefore you will be focusing on things that are more. When there's less available surroundings nearby you, you tend to focus on what you only have more. If you get what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, I
Like
get you.
yeah. Hmm.
So advancing with the questions, like, are there any simple everyday practices like people can adopt to enhance the positive effects of green spaces? Like, for example, like you are around green spaces like every day, but for example, someone like just want to stay in nature, like just to calm down sometimes, it is still effective, or do you think not?
Um, I feel like if someone is trying to gain the positive effects just with the purpose, um I feel like that it definitely would work. However, it might actually take longer than a normal person would do, because they're trying to because all of these attributes and attitudes that are happening to you when you are in a green space are spontaneous. They are not directly related to each other. It's only like a by effect that makes us more collaborative. If a person is going to a green space with that purpose, I feel like sometimes he might be over focusing and losing the um real matter of studying in a green space. However, there are actually people that choose to come to Kenyan just because of the environment. Um, I would say that definitely is a good choice if that is what you're seeking for. If you're seeking for a rural setting, if you're seeking for a place for you to come calm down, for you to focus on your studies, then that's definitely great. However, I feel like um you should not be bringing a purpose in green spaces. You should just let the environment gradually change you, and you can learn from it. If you get what I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
it's great because I do like that. Like sometimes I go to nature and like just to calm down. I let the nature
Hmm.
get into me. Like, yeah. So we're ending up. So, like, any brief conclusion you wanna say of the broader implication of this topic on psychology and education?
I would say like it's really I would say this topic is really interesting, because as you're from an urban setting, I'm now currently studying in a rural setting. I'm also really interested in seeing how, like, if there's people with like some mental disorders such as autism or schizophrenia, how would these kind of students be able to adapt in a rural setting? Would it actually be a easing way for them to study rather than studying in a urban setting.